Good morning, everybody. My topic this morning is if you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. If you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. I was sharing that in my own life experience. When I volunteered for submarine service, I go to submarine school. There were 3,000 of us who started and 311 of us graduated. And then they put us on a submarine. And for a year, they wouldn't let us do anything except study. And by the time of the year was over, we had to be able to do everything everybody else on board could do, from the captain on down, because on those submarines, I was on a diesel-electric World War II class submarine, everybody had to be able to replace everybody else. So before they would let you give you your dolphins and qualify you as a submariner, you had to be ready all the time. You had to be ready so you didn't have to get ready. You had to be ready to replace anybody. You had to be ready to act instantly. And this is why we were constantly bombarded with, we'd be sound asleep and they'd sound the collision alarm, or they'd do this, they'd do that, constantly testing us to see if we are ready. How many have had some tests to see if you're ready in your life? Okay. Now, our challenge is to understand that with God all things are possible. So our unfoldment along these lines is absolutely beautiful. When I was in submarines, I was in Navy SEALs before the SEALs were SEALs. I was a UDT. They used to call it underwater demolition. And when we were involved in that, we got a basic understanding in martial arts and other things. After I found myself going forward, I began to study martial arts about 40 years ago and moved forward in my martial arts training. When I received, after about 12 years, the highest belt, I thought at the beginning that's what I was going to get, the teacher that I was studying with all those years put the belt around me and said, "Now you're ready to study martial arts." Now, what he was pointing out is something that's basic to a martial arts understanding, and that is you don't expect anything, but you're ready for everything. And isn't that true about what we teach? Dr. Holmes said, just knowing about this principle does not mean you're going to be problem-free, but if one shows up, you're going to know what to do about it. If there's confusion, doubt, and fear in life, even if you react to it, you can put the brakes on and move forward from another level of consciousness. You can move forward from a consciousness, as we said in our opening song, that this silent listening, if we're going to do this metaphysically, is something that harmonizes with the universal yes, with the universal concept of God at action. Did everybody get your hand out this morning? Everybody say with me, I am the vigor of vibrant vitality. Everybody say, I am the vigor of vibrant vitality. Okay. Now, how many are ready to be vital? Nobody. Okay, well, thank you for coming this morning. Yes, I received, did anybody get, somebody sent me, who was it sent me that email? I don't know, I'm sure he may have done it, somebody, of the guy who wants inner peace. Did anybody see this? I sent it out to a bunch of people. Did you see it? Okay. I sent it to you, John. Guy wants inner peace and says, he goes to this seminar and says, well, if you want inner peace, what you have to do is go home and finish all the things you haven't finished. Says, and on these letters, he says, I went home and finished my Chardonnay, my Merlot, my Wum, and all the other stuff. And by the end of the letter, you couldn't read anything he said. Okay. Now, maybe this is true. How many are ready to finish some stuff? Okay, and start something new? Okay. For 36 years, I have been teaching a basic concept, a number, but an application of a concept. And I think what happens to metaphysical teachers, to religious science teachers, is that the things that jarred us awake through our process of classes and learning and developing our understanding of what we are, religious science. And the metaphysical reality, as Dr. Holmes said, we're a correlation of the laws of science, the opinions of philosophy, and the revelations of all religions as applied to human needs and the aspirations of everyone. So we find ourselves doing what? We find ourselves over and over and over again contemplating what we know and realizing that if we're accepting something new, we have to give the new a place to happen. Because everyone say, my life is always full. Now, what's it full of? See, it's full of God, but it's full of God as your consciousness or your mental equivalent becoming event, becoming form. Everyone say, my world is thick thought. See, now if it's your world, it's your thick thought. And if you want to change it, then do something about your thick thought. Because the minute you change, everyone say, the minute I change in consciousness, my world has to change. See, there's nothing else it can do. Everyone affirm with me, and let's read the first paragraph of this and think about it as we say it together. The secret place of the Most High in me, is my life, my truth, and my way. Today I choose to live from the true center of my being and celebrate my unfoldment, honor my consciousness, and lovingly live in the radiance of spiritual understanding. That's an interesting challenge. Okay. To lovingly, beautifully, and joyously live in the radiance of spiritual understanding. See, if you're going to do that, then you are really living your life at the level, if I stay ready, I don't have to get ready. What was it, a number of years ago, everybody was handing out round tuits. So, you going to do this? Hey, I'll get around to it. Okay. How many have done that with happiness, health, prosperity, success? Oh, I'll get around to it. Okay, I'll get around to it. I'll get around to it. Let's continue with this. Divine wisdom is my guidance. Now, what are we doing if we do that? See, divine wisdom is your guidance because divine wisdom says, I am everything you are. Okay, it doesn't say this, but this is what principle says if we listen to it. Principle says, this power is everything you are. This power knows what to do and knows how to do it. This power will do anything you let it do. Everyone say, wherever my mind goes, my world follows. Now, this is true whether you know anything about this teaching or not. Wherever the Baptist mind goes, the world follows. Wherever the Catholic mind goes, the world follows. Wherever the Islamic mind goes, the world follows. Wherever the Buddhist mind goes, the world follows. It doesn't matter. Wherever the atheist mind goes, it doesn't matter. Because what? You are what you think about all day long. Thank you, Emerson. So our challenge again and over again, we study this and study this and study this. We are what we think about all day long. Therefore, we need to think about what we think about. We need to honor what we think about. If we're going to move forward in life, then we need to honor it and be what we are honoring. Not just let it be an intellectual exercise, but to spiritualize the intellect in such a way that it becomes our experience. It does more than be something nice to think about. It becomes something more than nice to know about, or appreciate, or honor the fact that it works in everybody else's life. It's working in yours right now. It's working in mine right now. Let's say the second paragraph together. Health, happiness, and love flow through me as I let go and realize divine nature partakes of itself, how? As me. That's the only way it can do it. That is absolutely the only way it can do it. Moving through you as you, it becomes anything you let it become. Why? Because our universe is very, very interesting. Our universe is a universe of mind. Our universe, being a universe of mind, is governed, and it is governed in a very special way. It is governed by principles. It is governed by laws. There is a law of mind. How many have studied the law of mind in one of our classes? Okay. Everyone say, ignorance of the law does not justify its violation. You've heard me share this before. Dr. Holmes used to illustrate this by standing in front of the lectern, and he said, if you take a representative of every religion on the planet and line them up on a cliff and have them jump off the cliff in the name of the God they believe in and the religion they believe in, all of them will die. Except the religious scientist or the New Thought person who, by the awareness of God in action, would have sense enough not to jump in the first place. You see what I'm saying? If I had a sack up here and something over here to put in the sack, and I'm praying that whatever this is gets into the sack, that's fine. I can pray till I turn blue. Okay, the challenge is there is one life, it's God, it's my life. I now accept that this is, I pick it up, now moving into the sack, which I drop it into the sack. Now, how did it get into the sack? God in me, as me, picked it up and moved it into the sack. That's how it works. God in me, as me, is ready to become anything I let it become. God in me, as me, is ready to change anything in my life for the better. Anything that needs to happen in a better way is waiting for my acceptance that it is unfolding now. So the limitation we have are limitations we're putting on ourselves, and if we let go and let ourselves understand that if we are sick and tired of being sick and tired, we can let go and let something new and beautiful happen in a wonderful and beautiful way. Everyone say, the choice is mine. See, it's not somebody else's choice. See, what are you doing with your choices? Dr. Raymond Charles Barker said that there are no finalities in the material world. No finalities in the material world. He continued by saying, every situation and condition can be changed by thinkers conceiving new ideas and letting these new ideas produce new ways of doing things. New ways of doing things. Everyone say, new ways of doing things. By means of me. New ways of celebrating things. New ways of thinking of new things to do and be and experience. See, the challenge is to understand that what happens to a lot of people is they set goals, set them, and then once the goal unfolds as experience, they just sit there and maintain status quo day after day after day after day after day after day and settle for it. And settle for it. What are you settling for? What are you settling for? What you read in the headlines? Are you settling for nonsense? Are you settling for confusion? Are you settling for doubt? Are you settling for fear? Everyone say, I'm too smart to be stupid. I remember one of our teachers said, the problem with a lot of us is we use our intelligence to figure out how to act stupid, which is a waste of time. Unless we do what? Recognize what we're doing, recognize it doesn't work, stop doing it, and never do it again. Okay. See, what was it Einstein said? Keep doing the same thing the same way and expecting it to change is insanity. Okay. It's absolute insanity. Okay. Everyone say, if I want something new, I have to be the new before the world ever sees it. Now, where are you going to do this? Everybody point to where you do it. Okay, here. But the challenge is, and this is the good place to do it, is to do what? Move from your heart to your head to your world. Okay. Think from your heart through your intelligence to your life. From your heart. From your heart. Somebody called this week and said, should I do this or do that? And I said, do what's right. He said, what's that? Let's accept that it's unfolding in the right way. If the choice is you in action and you as a choice maker, remember we all have choice, even if you choose not to choose. We can all decide, even if you decide not to decide. So over and over again, we find ourselves understanding that many people are taken back by the direct approach that we take in religious science. They don't like it sometimes. They don't appreciate it sometimes. Why? Because it wakes them up and they have become comfortable being asleep. They have become comfortable acting like everybody else. If I act like everybody else, then I won't stand out.